Hello and welcome to this month's art exhibition. We've got some watercolours and oil paintings for you as normal and covering a wide range of subjects. So we'll start with some French sunshine, and this is actually a family member's barn not far from where we live, and very typical of France, where you get that beautiful golden light. I think this was probably, it was a morning scene. We actually stopped here in our camper van and took the photograph in the morning. So the sun was just coming up and bathed this wall in sunlight, creating this lovely dappled sunlight effect. A lovely blue sky as well, so it's going to be a nice day that day. And let's stay in France, and here we've got a view from not far from where our house is here in France. This is a view of Chassignol village, and very atmospheric, beautiful light as the distant landscape there, creating those lovely blues, and just a silhouette of the church there. A very sort of traditional scene we see here in France. And I reckon one of the best beaches in Cornwall, which is Gwythian, and I've painted this scene many times in oils, watercolour, and different times of the day and so on. And this was all about the reflections here on the beach, the tiny figures showing how high we are up on the cliff tops here, looking down. And when the tide's out like this, you can go down the steps on the other side of the rocks here and then walk across the beach there. Many a days spent on that beach as a child. And on this scene, I was looking at the tonalist way of working. So I used a lot of wiping out and lifting paint off as much as putting paint on, but creating that lovely sunlight effect. And looking at the work of George Inness and the likes of those artists painting in that time, in that style. A very atmospheric piece, this one. And I painted this scene out on location in the village of Chassignol, and there was beautiful, again, sunlight. It features in a lot of my paintings that I'm often painting light opposed to the actual scene there, and that creates that sort of atmosphere and hopefully a good feeling of sunlight. Who doesn't like a bit of sunshine? And it's quite interesting, these old French villages, that the houses are kind of built and added on, and you just get a cluster of houses all built on one, and you don't know which one belongs to who, and so on. It's quite interesting, and obviously in the middle of all of that is the church, which has obviously been there for a long time. And I really do enjoy painting cityscapes in watercolour because it's such an atmospheric medium. And this is the Angel Islington in London, and I did myself a little bit of a challenge painting all the scenes from the Monopoly board, and this was one of the famous pubs of that famous game, and obviously capturing the atmosphere on a rainy day in London. And something we do see a lot of in this area here in central France are hares, particularly around March time. And we've got a field just adjacent to our garden, and we see them in the middle of the field sometimes, being very brave that there are foxes about, but they know they can outrun them, so they've got nothing to worry about. Here again, it was all about the light, with this hares bathing in the sunshine. And this one was actually another one from the Monopoly board challenge that I did. I can't remember which station it was, King's Cross possibly, but it makes me think, obviously not the style, but I think I got the idea of painting the station like this from a famous Monet painting where he was allowed to be in the station and paint. Being an artist does open many doors for trespassing and so on, so quite a nice almost sort of black and white image, but it really makes these red areas pop. But it is winter at the moment, so I thought we'd better have a snow scene, and but we can still have lovely sunshine effects with snow. And here we've got the great opportunity for the snow to be breaking through all of these trees, and a lovely play of the cool blues here, and then the warm oranges and yellows there. So quite a nice scene. So even a winter scene can be quite warming to a certain degree. And here we have a pub in Oxfordshire, and that's one of the things I probably miss about not living in the UK anymore, and a good old English pub, sitting down having a pint of Butty Back. I think that's a Welsh pub, Welsh drink, that one, but I did live in Wales for a little while, so there's some good pubs in Wales as well. But we don't really get pubs here in France, cafes, bars and things, but it's more wine here in France. And figures on the beach on the south coast of England, by the pier. Nice silhouettes of the figures there, sort of sunbathing throughout the day, but not wanting to go home and just capture that last bit of sunlight. Again, watercolour, great medium for capturing all this atmosphere here. And just a suggestion of the pier, putting a little bit more focus perhaps on those figures on the beach there. And we've been painting quite a few boats on my website membership for artists. So if you're not necessarily in the market for buying a painting and you want to be painting scenes like this, check out the link in the description to my watercolour channel on YouTube. And if you want to go a little bit further, I've also got membership where I've got lots of demos with all the references on my website, and a growing community of like-minded artists. But this is along the Northamptonshire Canal, and I think, if I remember rightly, this was not far from Banbury, if I remember. But obviously they all look the same, these canals with the bridges and so on. But again, full of atmosphere, and liked on this one how the everything's got connection through here. Watercolours painted in this style, very atmospheric. And the last oil in our exhibition here is a scene again from France, the River Dordogne, high up in a medieval village looking down. And even these houses here are quite high up, so where we were standing taking this photograph was very high, and a very picturesque area in France, in the Dordogne. And I find these boats full of atmosphere, these fishing boats, the rust and the painted hulls and so on. It all looks great, with all the rigging and so on. It's great for watercolour. So let's finish this exhibition with some more French sunshine. Here we've got a meadow with that golden orange field. Again, wonderful things happening here with watercolour. All the splash water on and just let it do its own thing. Again, splash water here to create effects. A lot of watercolour techniques, sometimes painting this way can be a bit of luck. Sometimes it goes really well, and sometimes it doesn't, but you take the good with the bad. So hopefully you enjoyed this exhibition. Hit the like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And I say, if you want to paint along with me and see how I painted some of these scenes in watercolours and oils, check the link in the description to my other channels. And don't forget to check my website out if you're interested in buying a painting. There's lots on there for sale. And if there's any of these paintings that aren't on there currently at the moment, they will be added soon. Just drop me a message. So until next time, bye for now.